Aloha, I'm Kiana Cayabyab, and here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Hawaii today set a new single-day record of coronavirus infections. Health officials reported 3,484 new cases today, breaking the previous record of 2,205 set on December 26. Hawaii has seen 109,642 cases since the start of the pandemic. No new virus-related fatalities were reported today. The state's death toll since the pandemic began is now at 1,085. Today's tally includes 2,680 new cases on Oahu, 242 on Hawaii Island, 334 on Maui, 147 on Kauai, 21 on Molokai, 1 on Lanai, and 59 Hawaii residents diagnosed outside the state. Of all the confirmed Hawaii infection cases, 5,255 have required hospitalizations. 6 new hospitalizations were reported today. The state has 18,826 cases that are considered to be active, with 3,045 new active infections recorded today. Despite the sharp increase in coronavirus cases, the Hawaii Department of Health on Wednesday cut the state's isolation and quarantine time requirements in half. Starting Monday, residents who test positive for COVID-19 must isolate for at least 5 days and remain in isolation until symptoms are gone. They also need to wear a mask for 5 days after the isolation period. The new rules apply to those who test positive for the virus, regardless of their vaccination status. The updated policies align with recent recommendations from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Health officials say people who were boosted or fully vaccinated within the past 6 months or 2 months for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine do not need to quarantine if exposed to the virus, but are urged to wear a mask for 10 days and get tested on day 5. Anyone who is unvaccinated and was exposed to the virus should quarantine for 5 days, get tested on the 5th day, and wear a mask for an additional 5 days, according to the new policy. The Navy is continuing to fight an emergency order to drain underground fuel tanks at its Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. A leak from the fuel tanks contaminated a drinking water system that serves about 93,000 people. On Monday, State Department of Health Hearings Officer David Day issued a proposed order that upheld a prior DOH order calling for the Navy to suspend operations at Red Hill, clean up contaminated drinking water, and drain its underground tanks. The Navy would also be restricted from refueling until the state is satisfied that the operation can be conducted safely. An attorney for the Navy argues that the basis for many days' conclusions lack supporting evidence and fail to consider its initial response to the crisis and ongoing cleanup efforts. The Navy also believes the state did not have the authority to issue the sweeping emergency order. Health Department Deputy Director Marian Suji has 30 days to make a final decision on the emergency order. The Navy can appeal an unfavorable decision in court. Meanwhile, the Navy said it expects to finish flushing its water distribution system by the end of January. Some of more than 4,000 military families who were displaced by water contamination issues could begin moving home as soon as late next week. Hawaii's public schools are set to restart in-person classes next week in spite of the recent uptick in coronavirus cases. Citing the benefits of in-person learning, State Department of Education Superintendent Keith Hayashi said classes will resume with safety measures in place to reduce the spread of the virus. Teachers are scheduled to return from winter break on January 3rd, and students are set to return January 4th. While Governor David Ige and State Health Director Dr. Elizabeth Char voiced support for the plan, the Hawaii State Teachers Association called the Education Department's response to the virus inadequate and irresponsible. The union represents the state's 12,800 teachers. Hawaii's 257 public schools have seen a daily average of 19 positive cases across nearly 42,000 staff and 160,000 students. A rate Hayashi said is lower than the broader community and public school systems on the mainland. While COVID-19 is putting a damper on New Year's holiday gatherings and events, at least one Hawaii tradition will live on. Many residents are expected to serve up platters of sashimi on New Year's, and luckily, sashimi-grade ahi is forecast to be in decent supply with stable prices similar to last year. According to David Marabella, president of Garden and Valley Isles Seafood Inc., the supply of ahi from commercial fishing boats has been relatively good, in parts due to favorable weather, so prices are not expected to be volatile. Sales of fresh fish to consumers and businesses, including hotels and restaurants, have been better this year than last year, largely because of the rebound in tourism from the mainland. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. And here from the Star-Advertiser Ohana, we wish you and your ohana a Happy New Year. Are you ready to score big? Make sure to check out the Honolulu Star-Advertiser's Football Fever every Monday through Wednesday for your official ballot to play and enter for a chance to win $500 weekly or the chance to win the grand prize, a Big Green Egg Kamado Grill. Match or beat the score and you qualify to win. Don't forget to drop off your entry at select Long's Drugs locations. Good luck! Special thanks to sponsors Long's Drugs, Hawaiian Telecom, and Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu.